Hi, welcome to the first edition of TATV. My name's Dave Owen, this is Ange Holt, and we'll be bringing you a selection of news, current affairs and general interest stories from around the Te Awamutu area.
And if you've got any ideas of things that you would like to see on TATV, please feel free to contact us via the Te Awamutu online website. And now, coming up with this edition, we get the lowdown on the upcoming Rose and Cultural Festival. We meet some of the team behind the successful Kāinga Araha Community House, and we find out how local organisations can make their own website at teawamutu.net. But first, this month's headlines. A petition is underway calling for a public poll to choose between the first past the post and the single transferable vote system for local body elections. The petition can be signed at John Dixon Motors or McGill's Butchery. The Competition Society will hold 2 concerts at the Woolshed on Sunday 3rd November. These will feature some of the outstanding performances from the recent Jubilee competitions. See the Te Awamutu online What's On section for details. It's all over for the old swimming complex. The pools and buildings have been completely demolished and the area will be grassed over pending a final decision on its future. We'll keep you up to date on any new developments. Greg Page's horror feature film, The Locals, is currently being shot in locations around Te Awamutu. The Locals is due to be released in the second half of 2003. Ex-Te Awamutu golfer Philip Tatarangi picked up a $1.8 million cheque and increased his world ranking to 74 after winning the Las Vegas Classic this month. Te Awamutu Light Operatic Society's latest production is the classic rock opera Jesus Christ Superstar. The show runs from the 11th to the 26th of October. For more details, visit www.teawamutu.net/telos. The Te Awamutu Rose and Cultural Festival was first held in November 2000. It was an ambitious and successful project which included a wide variety of exhibitions and activities in a 10-day program. Following this initial success, the 2001 festival lasted for 2 weeks and included the opening of the Te Awamutu Swimming and Events Centre. This year, the third festival will be held from the 23rd of October to the 10th of November. We stopped by the Visitor Information Centre and caught up with festival coordinator Liz McNeil. Can you tell us a bit about the history of the Rose and Cultural Festival, Liz?
The Rose and Cultural Festival came from an idea 3 years ago where the Centre used to organise Te Awamutu's Rose Sunday, which was a community and civic affair for garden awards and different community activities. So what we thought we could do, we could expand on that. We got a major sponsor through Waipa Networks, and from then we've produced a series of programs over the last few years of all the community events and activities that take place in Te Awamutu. It's an ideal time to showcase the town and what the community is capable of.
Okay, and so what's happening with this year's festival?
I've got another full-on program. We have quite a array of activities from shows, concerts, exhibitions, sports events. All the community rallies round and puts on their own events and things that are happening. Of course, we have the Te Awamutu Rose Show, which is what Te Awamutu is famous for, happening as well in the middle of that. But the program will be available from all the visitor information centres in the region. And anybody who wants to know any more can contact us and get a full copy of the program.
Would you consider Rose Sunday and the craft fairs to be highlights of this year's festival?
Yes, they are. Rose Sunday obviously is our key event. It's actually our last event of the program. It's on the 10th of November, and that's a full day. We start off with poetry readings and literacy readings in the rose gardens, and then there's also art. There'll be portrait sketching going on. Then we have singing. There'll be a Rosetown Singers in Old St John's Church. We have presentation of the Te Awamutu Garden Awards, and then it'll be followed by a free concert in the park. But that day has its own program within a program. So it's quite an exciting day. And of course, over that weekend too is also the Rosetown Craft Fair, which is held at the Visitor Information Centre. It's a full 2 days of everything crafty and artsy.
And now, do you have any plans for the future?
Yes, we're really fortunate in that Waipa Networks have acknowledged that they're quite keen to stay as major sponsors of the festival, which is really important obviously for ongoing success. We now have Te Awamutu's new marketing group called Te Awamutu Alive, which will take over the festival organisation and continue with building on that and try and get some more perhaps key events and shows and things that will attract the wider audience.
Well, that sounds great. Thank you very much for your time today, Liz.
Thanks, Ange.
For more information about the festival, keep an eye on teawamutu.co.nz. We'll be having regular updates throughout the festival. For 16 years, Kāinga Aroha Community House has been providing a wide range of personal and family services to the people of Kihikihi, Te Awamutu and the surrounding district. Widely recognised as one of the best agencies of its kind in the Waikato, Kāinga Aroha has established itself as an essential local resource. Let's meet two of the organisation's directors, Bruce and Stephanie Owen, to find out what makes this place tick. Can you tell us a bit about how and when the community house came into being?
The combined churches in Kihikihi had a drop-in centre for young people up in the village, and it became clear we needed a bigger place and a place where adults could come to. So we were fortunate enough to be given this building to use as a community facility. Then we lived here for the first 5 years to get the place established, and after that we needed more space, both for ourselves and also the agency was growing so much anyway that we needed the extra rooms as office space. So it really began from a vision of being a place of outreach for the community, a facility for the community to use in whatever way was necessary.
So what exactly are the services that you offer here?
Well, when we first opened, we didn't really know what we were going to be doing, and I think if any of us could have predicted then that we would be employing 6 staff with 5,000 voluntary hours a year going into the agencies, and a range of services that goes from budget advising, counselling, after school craft and games activities for children, budget advising, budget education programs, supervised access, general support and family advocacy. I think on April Fool's Day 1987 we would never have guessed that this was going to happen, and we'd be here 15 years later.
And you haven't mentioned the holiday programme.
Did I not mention
No.
that? You see, there are so many things that you can't, off
Yeah.
the top of your head, think of all the ones that they do. In fact, Child, Youth and Family said they can't think of many agencies anywhere in the Waikato that do the wide range of services that we do.
It sounds expensive. How do you get your money?
Expensive, it's $100,000 a year, but if you add on 5,000 volunteer hours a year, it costs that at least at $10 a year. You know, you've got another $10 an hour. You know, you have to value that too. The money comes mainly from Child, Youth and Family, who fund us for about $40,000 a year, plus Lottery Board, and we're very well supported by some of the local trusts like the Nora Howell Charitable Trust and the D.V. Bryant Trust Board, plus other trusts as well. And Trust Waikato are very good to us too.
And local service clubs.
And local service
Help,
clubs,
yeah.
yes.
And some donations, of course, from the parents of children on the holiday programme and from counselling clients.
But we need to raise about $100,000 a year.
One of the more visible signs of the community house are the yellow hats. What's that all about?
We realised some years ago that we needed to start providing something to do with some sun protection for the children. We thought we'd buy some hats so that we could all be the same. We went to the $2 shop to see what we could get, because that's what we could afford. The only colour they had in enough quantity was yellow. So we ended up with yellow hats, and it's really become our colour. And then this last year we realised that the baseball caps weren't really good enough sun protection with the way the ozone layer's going. So we were funded to buy the big brimmed hats which we use in the really, really hot weather. So that's where the yellow came from.
And now we're looking at yellow T-shirts as
Yes.
uniform for the staff too. So Telecom aren't the only people who can use yellow to their advantage.
Well, you've obviously got a long, solid history behind you. What does the future hold in store?
New building next?
That's our next project, we think. Looking at the services that we offer and the potential for services, we're thinking we need another building, which would be extended counselling space. We've got more and more into counselling with children, and for that you need specialised rooms, extra facilities. So we're looking at more space for that, a bigger space for our Tuesday club, which is the after school thing for children. Also, we're getting more supervised access visits, and that would be a good facility for that to have extra space so that it's more private and away from the main building. And also, we've now got 5 people at times working in the 2 offices, which are very small, so more office space. If we could move some of the uses from the house outside into the other building, that would free up office space, give us a 3rd office.
Doing a fantastic job. Thanks very much for your time. For more information about Kāinga Aroha, visit www.teawamutu.net/ka. Way back in the year 2000, Te Awamutu Online began offering free web pages to local businesses and organisations. Users were able to create and update their own web page using their internet browser. By mid-2002, it became obvious that this system wouldn't be able to keep up with the increasing demand. In response, we are launching a new web hosting service called teawamutu.net. Teawamutu.net has all the same features as our old free homepages, but with lots of extra functionality. Most notably, users can now create and maintain complete websites rather than being limited to a single page. The other main change is in our criteria. Unfortunately, we can no longer afford to offer free pages to businesses, but we do have a range of commercial packages available. Free websites are still available to local non-profit organisations. So how does it work? Let's start by having a look at the homepage at www.teawamutu.net. On the homepage, you'll see a set of categorised menus. From here you can jump to all the sites currently hosted. At the moment there are about 20 websites, but if the interest so far is anything to go by, there will be many more sites in the months to come. As you'll see, the websites range from simple one-page sites to large interactive sites. If you're interested in having a website for your organisation, start by reading the Frequently Asked Questions page. This will help you decide if your organisation qualifies for a free site and gives you some information about how to get started. The next step is to fill out the online application form, in which you tell us a bit about your organisation. Once we've approved your application, you'll be able to log into the Site Manager. This is a flexible online tool which allows you to create and maintain your website. You'll need some basic computer skills, but it's fairly easy to get up and running. There are 2 ways to create your website. Firstly, you can use the online page editor. If you're using the latest Internet Explorer, then you can use our WYSIWYG editor. This works in a similar way to a word processor. Making pages this way is very easy. If you prefer, you can work with the HTML code. The other way is to make your site using your favourite web design software and upload the site to our server. If you'd like to know more about this option, we can help you. Although getting your website up and running is usually fairly painless, it's important to understand that if you want your website to be any good, you'll need to invest some time learning. Obviously, the more effort you're willing to put in, the better your chances of success. We have some help pages and tutorials available, as well as some links to other useful resources. Remember, visit www.teawamutu.net to find out more about this service.